Hi, this is Jason with Violator Collectibles coming at you with another collectible review. And this time we're taking a look at the Halloween 2 Deluxe Michael Myers mask. And this is from Trick or Treat Studios from 2013. So the first thing we do is take a close look at the mask. So taking a look at the Halloween 2 Deluxe Michael Myers mask. Like I said, this is from Trick or Treat Studios. This is a production mask. This is not a custom mask. This is something that they mass produce. And personally, this is one of the better molds that you'll see. I remember growing up as a kid, I was able to see Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers in theaters, and then going to the different party stores and seeing the masks. The Michael Myers masks when I was a kid were absolute garbage. And now, they've definitely upped their game when it comes to sculpts, and other companies have come in, and Trick or Treat Studios is, does an exceptional job with the mold of this guy. I mean, this to me is probably one, as far as production masks, this is probably my favorite mold of Michael Myers. I prefer the, Myers mask from Halloween 1 and Halloween 2 the most, and this is obviously, they're pretty much the same mask. This one's just because of the actor was a little bit wider on the neck, but pretty much the same mask. And obviously the original mask was a Captain Kirk mask. They basically painted white. They stripped the sideburns down off the side and kind of changed it a little bit, but that's where they got that from. And I mean, as far as the mold, you can see the molding is amazing. And the cheekbones, I mean, they definitely captured everything. The eyebrows look great. I remember growing up, some of the masks that I used to see in the stores, they did have hair here in the eyebrows, and it kind of looked cheap. But this, like I said, this looks amazing. They have a nice white color to it. There are some nice darker spots where you've seen the wear. Hairline looks great on this guy. This is glued in pieces, so the hair is actually in flaps, which is pretty common with most masks nowadays. You don't normally see them like where all the hair is rooted. Maybe in some of the higher end stuff. Like I said, this is like a $50 to $60 production mask. You can see the nice shading in the nose and the lips to kind of give it like that look to it, like where it's the definition and almost like wear. And as we kind of go to the side, you can kind of see the side profile. I mean, they did a great job making this look like Michael Myers. They have the ear hole right here. They have it like the wear right here. And you can actually see this is, they even included that actual part that is on the mask where they stripped the original sideburns. They actually have that wear and dirt mark where you can actually see that, which is really cool. If you go on to the back, you can see the hair. You can see, like I said, it isn't flapped, so if you don't comb the stuff down, you can get some bald spots. It seems to be in like 3 or 4 actual strips, but not too bad. The hair's pretty good. Nice brown colors, got a little bit of white going through it. It does shed a little bit. I had trouble at first with it shedding just a little bit, but some of the tips would come off, and then it just stopped which wasn't too bad. So, you know, definitely nice with the hair. As you go around to this side, you can actually see the stab mark. Lori stabbed him with a knitting needle in part 1, so they've actually included that, which is a really cool touch, and it's actually got a little blood mark here. I mean, everything looks great. Here's the wear of the paint right here. To be perfectly honest, probably the biggest negative I have with this mask is they put too much flesh tone on the neck. The neck is supposed to represent that the paint has been worn off, which is on the mask in part 2. You can definitely see that in some of the close-ups, that some of the what you could see flesh tone coming through on here. But I think they did a kind of a poor job with, you know, fading that in. It's very flesh tone, almost like it's, you know, his mask stops here. It kind of stops kind of abruptly, which I'll show all this a little bit closer. They do have some speckles of white right here, you know, simulating that it's been worn off, but I think they could have done a better job of kind of blending that out. But let's take a closer look at this guy. Here you can see those eyebrows, like I said, they're just kind of molded in and kind of painted a little bit to look a little darker, which looks really nice. You can see kind of some forehead marks right here. As we go to the side, here's, like I said, here's that original sideburn kind of marking in the mask, which like I said, it's a really nice touch. You can see the hairline where they glued it. A fairly accurate hairline for the most part. I mean, it's kind of glued down right here, kind of flat, which is, you know, when you get real close to it, you'll definitely notice that. But as far as the overall, like, the way it's shaped, it's done really, really well. Here you can see the shading in the nose and the mouth. You can see like the gray paint right there, which is really cool. And as we kind of turn here, you can kind of see some roughed up spots right there as well. And then you can also see this is where that it's supposed to be the fading of the paint, but it just looks like the mask cuts off, which is kind of unfortunate. And here we have that stab mark, and it's hard to see, but like I said, there's like little specks of white, like right there, where it's supposed to be that, you know, it's worn. You can see the dirt and the dirt marks, like it's been rubbing on there, but that it's supposed to be more prominently white right there as well. I mean, it kind of was more flesh tone towards the lower part. As we see here, you can see that stab mark, which is a pretty cool. You can see the nice red in there, which looks really nice. All right, and here we have a closer look at the neck. You can actually see the little white splotch where it's supposed to be like it's rubbing off, but it's just like a speckle paint, like you were trying to texture a wall and you did it really bad. You can see the dirt in there, which is really cool, but like I said, I really wish they blended that a little better, kind of made it down and made it more white than flesh tone the way it was. That's probably the biggest gripe I have with this mask. Maybe at some point I'll touch it up, but I kind of prefer, see how it's kind of worn by the ear? I kind of think that they should have done something like that. That would have been a lot better if they kind of would have done that style where it's still got a good portion of white, but you could see the beige and the flesh tone coming through. I think overall the profile looks great, the way the hair's done. It's a little bit more poofy here than it was in the movie. You could probably take some gel and kind of slick that back or kind of mess with it. You can really make this mask have the hair you want. I mean, it was more slick back with kind of little parts that kind of stuck out on the sides in the actual movie. But I mean, overall, like I said, this is probably my favorite production mask mold. I mean, it's leaps and bounds above the stuff I had when I was a kid. I think this looks amazing. Going onto the back, there is a slit where you can put the mask on. This is a pretty large mask. This fits me. I have a pretty large head, and it seems to fit me pretty well. I think if maybe if you had a small head, you might have a problem. I know they do make a smaller version of this mask, and then they also make a child version. I don't know the difference in size between the small version and this actual deluxe version. And here's the hair. It's kind of hard to see the color differences, but like right, where is it? Right here, you can kind of see right here you can see a white hair right there. It's hard to see with the light. It kind of brings out a lot of the white, but you can definitely see the way the hair looks, and you can see the different here, you know, how it's actually put on there. But it's done pretty good. Like I said, they actually have 4 layers, so it blends pretty well. The top part of my mask up at the very tip top does have a spot where if you're not super careful and you don't fold it back, you might get a bald spot. And that on my mask, that's actually right here. You just gotta make sure you kind of fold this in and it goes right away. Here's the tag that came on the mask. It was just, you know, on the top of his head, where it has a little hanger where you could hang it up on the like a shelf or on a little, you know, peg. But it has the Halloween 2 logo, Halloween 2 Trick or Treat Studios, and on the back it just says it's sculpted by Justin Marby, Trick or Treat Studios. All that information. It's a rubber latex mask. This is where the store could put the actual UPC code, the Deluxe Myers mask. This is what the store was selling it for, which is $59.99. And the Halloween 2 is a trademark, copyrighted Universal Studios. But you know, most products typically have like some kind of thing saying when this mask was actually produced and put on the shelf. Sometimes they do newer versions. There's no markings of date on this mask at all. Basically, This mask version came out in 2013. That's when it actually was first listed on Amazon by Trick or Treat Studios, so that's what we're going with as far as release date. This might be a newer model or somewhere in between, but I mean, as far as the original production date of this style of mask, it was 2013. Just for size comparison, here we have this is the Rubber Johnny's Rotting Bloody Hood mask. It's basically like a Jason Hood generic mask, and I put a NECA Halloween or Friday the 13th Part 3 hockey mask on there just to show Jason versus Michael Myers. And we have obviously the Trick or Treat Studios Deluxe Halloween 2 mask, Michael Myers on the right. And just to show size comparison, you know, and just to have them next to each other, it's awesome to see these two horror icons kind of next to each other. Like I said, this is a generic version of, like, you know, Jason Voorhees. It's just an affordable hood mask, about $25 to $30 or $40 depending on, you know, who's selling it on Amazon. And this guy's about a $60 mask. This is by far, to me, the best production mask that you can get. Mass-produced mask of Michael Myers. I think the mold is great. All the lines in the eyes, the lips, the nose, the cheekbones. I don't think you can get much better. Like I said, I really wish they would have blended this flesh tone a little better, like the wear. It's unfortunate. I think that might be a deal breaker to some, but if you're really good with some paint, you can definitely blend that in super easy. But, you know, a fantastic mask. This is going to be super popular in 2018, obviously, because the new movie's, you know, less than a week away. But once again, this has been Jason with Violator Comics Collectibles. Any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and I'll see you guys next time.